What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're taking a look at this Enoze 1/16 scale Subzero off-road monster truck. But there is something very unique about this car that you don't normally find on off-road RC cars. It actually has two motors. Now, I have seen these cars on eBay quite a few times. I never purchased one because they were quite expensive. They were around about $70 or $80. But during the end of year sales, I had a look on eBay again, and these were actually down to around about $30 Australian, which is actually very cheap. So yeah, I thought I may as well get one since they were so cheap. Alright, so as you can see, guys, I've actually got two different versions. I've got the Subzero, and then I've got the Xfer or Zenfer. Now, I'm not going to be reviewing both versions because they are exactly the same car, just with a different body style. But because they were so cheap, and I'm not really sure how accessible the parts are, because I do plan on upgrading this one to at least 3S brushed. So I've got all the parts that I need, and I believe the differentials may be plastic geared. So yeah, today we will be taking a look at the Subzero, but just so you know, there is a couple of other versions that you can get. Now, they do claim 40 kilometers an hour, but I'm not really sure how possible that will be. We'll definitely test that out though. As I mentioned earlier, it is a dual motor setup, so we'll have to take a closer look at that when we get out of the box. The front and rear differential, got a 2.4 gigahertz radio, rechargeable 2S lithium ion battery, I believe. I think they may even come with two batteries. Again, we'll have to take a look when we get it out of the box. And they do have suspension. We can see the controller there, fully proportional. We've got steering trim, and the throttle trim is probably more of a rate rather than a trim. You can turn it up or down depending on how fast you want it to go. And that is pretty much all the information on the box. So we may as well get it set up on the bench and take a look. Instruction manual, nice blurred up diagram. We do actually have parts and part numbers in the user guide, which is actually a really good sign. Hopefully we can find the parts. We do have a little bag of accessories, including a spare drive shaft, a little screwdriver, some spare body clips, and some screws in there. 2S USB style charger. Now, here is one of the two 1500 milliamp 7.4 volt lithium ion batteries. Same controller as what was on the box. And then we obviously have the Subzero itself.
Subzero RC car at last. Two motors roaring loud. Innovation not so proud. Watch it drift like a flash. Speedy turns never clash. Budget simple, not deluxe.
Now, I think the body style looks very cool, very colourful, that's for sure. We've got some nice black rims. We don't have lock nuts on the wheel axles. They're actually like the HBX 16889. They've got the screw going through to the wheel axle. The tyre feels nice when you push on the centre of it, but the sidewalls are super hard. I think they might be grippy on the grass, but a little bit slippery on the concrete or dirt. Super chunky front bumper on there with LEDs, I believe. Very cheap friction shocks, so it'll be very bouncy, this car. And behind that, we can see all the plastic components, the CVDs, the outdrive of the differential. But the swing arms and everything look pretty chunky, so I think they should be pretty strong. And it has got a very similar steering knuckle design to the HBX or the JJRC platforms, so I think they should be pretty strong as well. We've got a nice hard but flexible plastic wing on the back, as well as a little roll cage on the back there, which will help prevent damage to the body. Now, taking a look at the rear, it is completely different to the front. We've got a solid rear axle with a differential, and we can see the motor and heatsink. So we'll have to get the body off and take a closer look in there. But just before we do that, guys, comparing it to a couple of other 1/16 scale cars, it looks fairly big. This is the HBX 16889 clone, and this is a little PD Racing TK16, which actually looks very small compared to the other two cars. But yeah, very similar size to most 1/16 scale off-road cars by the looks of that. 4 normal body clips. Alright, so we've got a very strange but very interesting looking setup in here. We've got a tiny little brush motor in the front there, geared to the front differential. Next to that, over the other side, we have a little 5-wire servo. If we were to upgrade this, we'd have to swap that out for a 3-wire servo. In the middle there, we've got the second 1500 milliamp 7.4 volt lithium ion battery. And then right at the back, we've got the rear motor that's actually connected to the solid rear axle. So when the suspension is activated, the motor moves up and down, which may actually cause issues with the suspension. Most likely this is going to be really stiff on the rear end and very soft on the front. I wouldn't suggest going stiffer on the front, suggest going much softer on the back, so you've actually got some movement there. That is extremely stiff. Now, one thing I am expecting to experience is the feeling of a center differential. Having a separate motor on the front and rear differential, they can spin separately if they need to. That may actually work out to be a massive benefit, but we're not going to know until we get it charged up and take it out for a test. So let's get the batteries charged and get it outside for a bash.
Memories we can't erase. Victory might not be sure, but this joy we can't ignore. Innovation not so proud. Watch it drift like a flash. Turns never clash.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is turn the throttle all the way down to the lowest position, see how slow it is basically, and then I'll turn it up and see how fast it goes on the highest setting. See how we go with the stock standard battery. Oh, it doesn't even get out of the grass on the slow setting. Alright, I don't think there's really a point with the slow setting. Look when you throttle. Oh, that's so slow. So squirrely as well. And look at that front end like floating. And the rear end's just solid. Alright, so how slow was that on the lowest setting? 17 kilometers an hour. Alright, so we may as well get that flicked over to the high setting, get it started again. Oh, that's a bit better. Oh, signal. Got terrible, absolutely terrible signal. Keeps cutting out. What? I think it's one of the most uncontrollable little cars that I've ever tried. The steering's still a little bit off as well, the trim. Oh, yeah. The signal, I don't know, it's like 10 meters and then it starts cutting out. Yeah, it's kind of what I expected from this car. Didn't expect the signal to be so bad. That's not me coming off the throttle, that's the signal bouncing. Keeps catching the signal back. It's very, very odd. Oh, oh, oh. Wow, alright, so yeah, like I said guys, it's a crazy car to drive, as in like a really hard, unstable car. But we better check the speed anyway. 25 kilometers an hour, yeah, nowhere near that 40 kilometers an hour that they claim on the box. So we'll get the GPS out of there and see if we can actually bash this thing. Like I said, the signal is absolutely terrible, but yeah, I'll do my best to get a little bit of a bash in. I'm not actually sure where the antenna is, so I can't really raise the antenna. Oh, that's why the antenna's pointing at the ground. I believe that's the antenna right down the bottom there. It should have a little hole in this piece of plastic just here for the antenna to poke out of. We might have a little bit better signal now. Yeah, we've got a little bit better signal now. Oh. Doesn't feel too bad actually. How does it do in the bark? Oh, still getting bad signal loss.
Can't keep up with intention. It's a bumpy ride.
intention.
Yeah guys, it seems like it's doing alright off-road, and it's not the worst off-road car that I've had. Could definitely be better though. Oh! The steering's pretty minimal. Doesn't steer a lot, but the wheels are very slippery, so you can slide it around. Oh! Oh, I think I missed that one.
Bar suspension, can't keep up with intention. It's a bumpy ride, a twisted glide over chaos and tension.
Nice.
Wheels are jumping high, steering's running wild. Try to make it fly, but it's stuck like a child. Bad signal, bad suspension, can't keep up with intention. It's a bumpy ride, a twisted
Oh,
glide
that was a big one.
over chaos and tension. Remote in hand frustration, hitting every bump sensation.
Oh.
Best in slow possession, dreaming of smooth progression.
Yeah, it's doing alright. Alright, let's see how it goes here. It's actually very controllable on this dirt. It definitely feels like it's almost got a center differential in there. I did check the motors before and they were really cool, so I think running this on a little 3S system won't be too bad. Oh! Yeah, it's doing much better on the dirt than I expected. Grass is a little bit long here, so the run-up's not going to be great. Definitely need more power. Come on, come on! Ah! And I think that might be the battery. Maybe that was the issue. I might chuck the freshly charged battery in there and see if it goes any better. Alrighty guys, got the fresh battery in there. First thing I'm going to do is get a good run up, try and hit this dirt mound with a little bit of speed, hopefully get a decent jump off it. Nice, there we go, that's what I was after. Getting excited over a 2-foot jump, 2 foot long, about a ½ foot high. Oh, oh, come on buddy, oh, oh. You know what guys, it's actually a really fun little car. With the little 3S speed control and a proper hobby grade receiver, I think it will be very fun. Beautiful little front flips. I reckon this might make a cool little skate park basher. Definitely have to get it to the skate park and test it out. Got no rear drive at all. What? Guys, it's so windy out here, I'm gonna have to take it home and inspect it. Alright, let's see what's going on in here. So I don't think we're going to be able to do anything until we get that little battery compartment off. Alright, so now we can see our 2-in-1 board and all the wires, all the connectors and everything in there. And I think I've spotted the issue already. Oh, yep, there. Yeah, so what's happened is when they've actually put these cars together, the wire has been sitting across this little piece here instead of being over here. And as you can see, there is like a lip sort of thing going around the bottom of the battery compartment, and one of the lips sit right on that piece there, and it crushed that wire. So all I'm going to have to do is desolder this piece, and then solder this new piece directly back onto the motor, and it should be good to go. But I'm also going to swap over the suspension. I've got these and they're very soft compared to the stock standard shocks, because at the moment it is extremely stiff on the rear and you really do notice it when you drive in the car.